It was money trying to buy the game, an attempt to purchase respectability. And it all came to a head in a tense Florida courtroom where 85-year-old Jack Nicklaus embraced his family as the jury delivered a verdict that ended one of golf's most bitter feuds. The Golden Bear, owner of 18 major titles, had just secured a stunning $50 million victory not over a rival golfer, but over the very company that carried his own name. This was never just about money. It was about reputation, legacy, and correcting a narrative that threatened to define the final chapter of his life. Nicklaus made it clear that the game he played was rooted in love for the sport, not financial gain, and the verdict sent a powerful message against what he saw as lies, betrayal, and an effort to silence him. It was a fight he refused to lose, and in winning it, he exposed truths far more damaging to his opponents than any monetary judgment, bringing years of simmering business disputes and personal grudges into the open at last. It all began in 2007 when Jack Nicklaus sold the rights to his name, image, and legendary golf course design business to a new entity, Nicklaus Companies, for $145 million. A deal backed by billionaire banker Howard Milstein that initially looked like a smart move to secure the future of his brand. But the partnership quickly deteriorated. What started as a business arrangement turned into a personal war. And after stepping down as an executive in 2017, Nicklaus was locked into a 5-year non-compete clause. When that restriction expired in 2022 and he sought to reclaim his independence, the conflict exploded. Nicklaus Companies, led by Milstein, sued him in New York, accusing him of diverting business opportunities. But that lawsuit was only the opening act of a far more aggressive campaign aimed not just at his professional standing, but at his character. At the center of the attack were 2 explosive accusations meant to permanently damage his image. The most shocking being the claim that Jack Nicklaus, a lifelong PGA Tour icon, had seriously considered a reported $750 million offer to become the public face of the Saudi-backed LIV Golf League, according to Nicklaus's legal team. The claim was deliberately leaked to the media to paint him as a sellout, a man willing to trade a lifetime of loyalty to the PGA Tour for Saudi money. But the second accusation cut even deeper, when rumors began circulating that the 85-year-old legend was suffering from dementia and could no longer manage his own affairs. As Nicklaus's attorney Eugene Stearns told the court, what they were saying was, "You need to take the keys away from him," a calculated effort to break him both professionally and personally, stripping him of his voice and authority at the moment he needed them most. In the courtroom, however, the truth finally surfaced. Through testimony and documents, Nicklaus's team dismantled the false narrative built by Nicklaus Companies. Yes, a meeting had taken place in 2021 with representatives from Golf Saudi, the organization behind LIV Golf, but it was arranged by a Nicklaus Companies executive and was strictly about golf course design, fully within the terms of his contract. During that meeting, officials floated the idea of Nicklaus taking a leadership role in LIV Golf and becoming the public face of the league for an enormous sum. But under sworn testimony, Nicklaus made it clear he rejected the offer immediately, and unequivocally his reason was crystal clear. The PGA Tour was the heart of his legacy, an institution he had supported his entire life. And if the tour did not stand behind LIV, he wanted no part of it, choosing principles over profit without hesitation. After 4.5 hours of deliberation, the Palm Beach County jury ruled in Nicklaus's favor, finding that Nicklaus Companies had defamed him by publishing false claims that damaged his reputation and exposed him, in the jury's words, to ridicule, hatred, distrust, and contempt. As his attorney Eugene Stearns later told ESPN, "It is always difficult to prove reputational damage, especially for a man like Jack Nicklaus, whose name has long stood as a symbol of integrity. But this case ultimately centered on one issue, the false claim that Jack Nicklaus had sold out the PGA Tour for Saudi money, and the jury's verdict vindicated him completely. While Nicklaus Company's lawyer attempted to downplay the ruling as a routine business dispute and insisted Nicklaus's reputation remained untarnished. The jury clearly disagreed, holding the company responsible for spreading damaging lies. Even as Howard Milstein and executive Andrew O'Brien avoided personal liability due to corporate legal protections. That pivotal falsehood became the backbone of the case, and once it collapsed, the truth stood unmistakably clear. The verdict marked the culmination of a years-long legal fight across multiple courts. Building on an earlier July 2024 ruling in which a Florida arbitrator determined that Nicklaus was no longer bound by his non-compete clause, officially freeing him to return to golf course design on his own terms. Then, in April 2025, a New York judge ruled that Jack Nicklaus also had the legal right to use his own name, image, and likeness, allowing him to fully reclaim his personal identity. While Nicklaus Company still controls the Golden Bear trademarks tied to apparel and equipment, the man behind the name is now free to move forward on his own terms. At 85 years old, Nicklaus has shown that his competitive fire never faded, proving it not on the golf course, but in a courtroom. He protected his reputation, stood up for his values, and made it clear that integrity still carries weight. The $50 million verdict represents more than financial compensation. It sends a powerful message that truth can prevail, even against influence and pressure, and that some legacies are strong enough to withstand any attempt to silence them. In the twilight of his life, Jack Nicklaus has done what he always did best: standing tall, staying true, and walking away a champion. One final victory for the Golden Bear, and almost fittingly, the story of legacy didn't end there, because in a moment junior golf rarely sees. With a packed leaderboard, perfect conditions, and cameras hunting for history, Charlie Woods delivered it. Stepping onto the first tee under a familiar spotlight and walking off the 18th green with a brand new headline in his name. Not just another junior win, but a true breakthrough. As his game looked sharp, controlled, and fearless from the opening round, carrying the same effortless tempo fans remember from his father's prime while clearly stamped with his own identity. Stringing together birdies, staying patient through pressure, and closing with a dominant under-par finish, not a squeaker, but a statement. Securing victory by multiple strokes against the best young players in the country and sending one message loud and clear: Charlie Woods isn't here to blend in. He's here to win. The ripple effect was immediate as Charlie's position in the junior world rankings rocketed overnight, vaulting him into conversations about the sport's most prestigious upcoming events. A career-changing moment for any teenager, but for the son of Tiger Woods, a step into a spotlight that had been waiting since the day he first picked up a club. With tournament directors taking notice, invitations to elite championships pouring in, and fans speculating about what might come next. Yet beyond the numbers and trophies, the real story was in the atmosphere. Crowds following every hole, media lining up for quotes, and fellow players feeling the weight of his presence. Because in one weekend, Charlie didn't just win a title, he shifted the narrative, answering the question that lingered for years about whether he could ever emerge from his father's shadow.